So this evening I wanted to share a little quote that was meaningful to me that I came across, and I thought would be a good thing to reflect on as we start our practice. You can search throughout the entire universe for someone who is more deserving of your love and attention than you are yourself, and that person is not to be found. Not to be found anywhere. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserves your love and attention. So I oftentimes think of, the world thinks of self-care as selfish, but self-care is the basis of caring for others. So I'm so glad you're here, and I hope that you're taking this time to reflect on what you need and how you can meet that need. Let's begin with a pranayama or a breath practice. So take a moment to feel a good sitting position. You'll notice I'm sitting on a block, but you can sit cross-legged as well, whatever is comfortable for you. Some of you are new to yoga this evening. I'm glad that you're here and that you're practicing. So just remember to listen to your body and the wisdom of your body. So starting in a seated position, feeling the weight of the body resting on the floor. Bring your attention to the spine, and on the inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Exhale, let the shoulders drop down. Then bring the attention to the low belly. We're going to have a 3-part inhale, feeling the breath in the belly, the ribs lifting, and then filling the chest. On the exhale, letting it out of the chest, the ribs folding. Exhale the belly. Belly, ribs, chest, chest, ribs, belly. Just feeling the breath as it moves slowly in and out of the body. That 3-part breathing. The inhale, filling the belly, the ribs, the chest. The exhale, releasing chest, ribs, and belly. Nice and slow. Completing that cycle and taking one more. And then beginning to transition that 3-part breath into a single wave, feeling the inhale of the wave, filling you right up to the neck. And then the exhale of the wave, flowing the breath out of you. Inhaling. And on the exhale, a certain degree of letting go, letting that breath wash out of you. Inhale, filling the body, nice and full. Feel a little fullness, and an exhale, and that wave washes out. Letting the tension of the day go. Continuing this breath a few more times. One more time through this wave breath. And letting go. Returning now to the natural breath and just checking in with the attention over your heart and your emotional body. And setting an intention to care for whatever you're experiencing this evening. Lengthening again through the spine, take your left hand, and if you're able, behind the back, dropping the hand into the notch of the elbow. If that doesn't work for you, you can bring it across the front of the body. Turn the chin over the right shoulder and gently dip the nose towards that shoulder as you draw your left elbow forward, the left elbow forward and the left shoulder down and back. Inhale and switch. Bringing that other hand into the notch of the elbow, and draw that elbow forward, the bent elbow forward, and the shoulder back and down as you dip your nose towards the shoulder. Inhale and switch. We'll take it one more time on each side. Inhale and switch. And gently lengthen and release the shoulders. Roll the shoulders up and down the back. Bring the palms gently together, just feeling that light touch of the palms. Exhale as you bring them into Namaste, right in front of the heart. Equalizing the pressure between the palms. Lengthen from the shoulders to the elbows to the wrists. Exhale. Inhale, bring the elbows together and bloom a flower, a lotus here. Exhale down. As you inhale, push the back body out, fill the ribs. Exhale, lift the heart, pull the hands down. Inhale, fill the back body. Exhale, bring it down. Nice big breaths here. Inhale, fill. Exhale, down. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, your thumbs back, shoulder blades sliding down the back. Can you feel those shoulder blades? Scoop it up. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back to the heart. Inhale, bloom a lotus. Exhale, down. 3 more. 2 more. And down. This time reaching all the way up. Thumbs back, big heart, and rainbow. Scoop it up. Exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful. Drop your left hand on the inside of the knee. Sweep the other arm open, rotating the spine. Stay tall. Enjoy the twist. Just kind of wringing it out. Inhale and sweep the other direction. Long and revolve. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, revolve. This time, once you're fully revolved, fold at the hip just a little bit here. And release. And take it to the other side. Sweep it out. And fold. And release. Let's come into a child's pose. We don't do that very often, but it is a great resting posture. We're going to explore it today with a little intention of stretching out. So start by spreading your knees. Most people have more accessibility in child's pose if your knees are wide. And then just crawl the body through. The toes are coming together behind you. Crawl the body through and see how far your body can rest between your thighs. And it may not come down very far, and that has happened with me with my hips with time. There's less mobility, so you can lift your hips a little and bring your forehead to the mat. Crawl the fingers forward, and maybe you're going to pull up on your hands or your fingertips. And then just lengthen out from the fingers to the tailbone. Exploring just a little bit this stretch, left to right. And then we're going to walk both hands over to the left. And as you do that, bring your right hand on top of your left hand. And then think about your right hip and see if you can bring it down just a little bit. Breathe into the ribs on the right. And then walk your hands through center. We'll bring them over to the other side. Bring that left hand on top of the right, and then the left hip sinks towards the heel. Breathe into the ribs on the left. And gently walk it back to center. One more time, lengthening out through the fingertips to the tailbone. And then bring your hips up, walk your hands back, knees come together, tuck your toes. Press into both palms and pull the heels together. We're going to stretch the soles of the feet a little bit. Lift your knees, push into those heels. And then walk your hands back and bring your fingertips to face your knees. And then just sit back a little bit to get a forearm stretch here. And breathe, letting go of any tension that's building up there in the forearms. Then we're going to come up into our pillar posture. So just feel the knees are resting into the mat. And if you have a mat that's a little bit on the thin side, you may need to double up your mat so that your knees feel comfortable. Just listen in and do what's right. Tucking the toes behind you, squeeze your glutes so that you open up the front of the hips, and then bring your palms to your glutes. Elbows can be wide, and then slowly draw the elbows back as you push into the glutes, lifting the heart in this pillar posture. Keep the glutes engaged. Breathing here. We're going to take a couple more extensions of the back here, and you choose which ones are right for you. You might stay in pillar or drop your hand back to the heel and sweep that hand up in a dancing camel, turning the heart to the side, and then switch. And just switch back and forth. Feeling that opening of the front body. Keep the glutes engaged to keep the low back safe. And then last option is to bring both hands to the heels and lift through the heart in a full camel. Not a necessary pose, but an option. Then we'll come on over in the other direction, coming now into our table. Hands right underneath the shoulder points, knees underneath the hips. Take a little cat-cow just to warm up the spine in the opposite direction. Then we're going to push that right heel back in our balanced table. Option to add the left thumb to the sky. Exhale, bringing the arch of the back up, elbow and knee together. Inhale, reach it out. Bring your gaze past the edge of the mat. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale out. Nice and strong in the back. Bring it together. Keep that back stable. Inhale it out. Now holding out, gently sweep off center. Keep pressing with your right hand into the mat, the left knee. Bring it back nice and long. Inhale, sweep it away. Bring it long and away. Bringing that left hand back to the mat. Drop the ball of the right foot. And then just press into your hands as you push that heel back and stretch the calf a little bit. And then we're going to kickstand the left foot out to the side, coming to a side plank. So your left knee is kickstand out behind you. Reach your right arm up for a side plank. Try and stack the shoulders a bit. And this side plank has the knee down. Then we're going to come up into our gate posture. So squeeze through this left side, reach up tall, and slide the fingers down the leg. Lengthening and a gentle stretch to the side. Then as you bring your left hand down, this is where we're going to give you a chance for a challenge side plank. So you choose which works best for you. You can definitely just stay in knee down side plank, but this might be an option where you like to stack the feet. I like to bring my bottom foot on top of my top foot and stack for 3 breaths. And bring yourself back to your table. As you practice more with me, you'll learn about many different versions of side plank, which are so good for the spinal strength. Push your left heel back. Think about that table. We'll take these moves on the other side. Inhale the right thumb to the sky. Exhale, bird dog. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, arch it in. Inhale out. Exhale in. Inhale, reaching long. Take and sweep that hand off center. The heel the opposite direction. Inhale forward. Exhale, slip into awkward airplane. Inhale long. Exhale away. Bring the hand underneath the shoulder point and push into your calf stretch. The left foot comes down to the mat. Push that heel back. And then kickstand out on this side for your side plank. The right foot goes out behind you. Left hand up. And then you're going to push off of your right hand. Squeeze up through the right side. Lengthen and come over into your gate posture. Breathe with that. And then gently windmill that right hand back to the mat. And find the side plank you're looking to take 3 breaths in, strengthening your side. And then gently returning to your table, cleansing breath, and we'll come down onto our abdomen. We're going to take Shalabhasana, so let's zip the legs together. Bring the hands right underneath the shoulder points. As we are in this position, I want you to keep thinking about making the spine and the whole body long. So your gaze is right at the mat, and you're lengthening out through your toes behind you and the crown in front of you. Lengthen, lengthen, and maybe the tiniest lift. And breathing. And release, forehead to the mat. Bring your hands alongside your hips, fingers facing towards your toes. Elbows in, lengthen, zipping the legs together. Lengthen through the toes and through the crown. The tiniest of lifts as you breathe. Releasing that forehead to the mat. Take your hands, and option now is to interlace behind the sacrum, but you can keep them alongside the hips as well. Pull the hands down, shoulder blades come back and down. Lengthen, toes through crown. Lengthen with the tiniest of lifts. And release. This time as you release, bring your hands alongside your ears and widen out the feet. Coming into your crocodile pose. Bend the knees and let the heels windshield wiper. A little bit left and right. You can also fold your hands right underneath the forehead as you're doing this, releasing any tension you're having in your hips and back. And then release the legs there. Drop your hands underneath the shoulder points, pushing your hips up. And then we're going to come into a down dog. So place your hands parallel to the long edge of the mat. Nice spread wide fingers there. Tuck your toes and come into your plank, and then just soften the knees as you push the chest towards the thighs. Let the tailbone come up and slowly drop one heel and then the other, and see if you can straighten your legs just a little. More important to push your weight back towards your thighs. Take a breath here, maybe stretch out the side body as you wag your tail a bit. And when you're ready, walk your feet up towards your hands, coming into a forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. Feel the spine get nice and long. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lifts. Press on those shins. Feel the inner thighs of the legs spinning to the back wall. Find the breath in the low belly, fill it up. Exhale, scoop navel into the spine. Inhale, fill. Exhale and fold. Inhale, reach your hands behind you. Squeeze your glutes as you lift and rise, tall mountain. Press through the front of the hips and release. All right, very good. Now we're up into our standing posture and we're ready for a little bit of balance posture. There's so many different elements to yoga, and we want to try and include all of those in each of our practices so that we have a good, healthy balance of flexibility and strength in our bodies. So we're going to do eagle pose for our balance tonight. So coming onto 2 feet, feel the weight in the heels, a little softness in the hips, a little softness in the knees. We'll take one leg over the other one, holding a focus point. You can touch your toes down or wrap them, whichever works for you. The same side that went over, that arm goes under. Bring your hands together, hook your thumbs together. Keep focusing on your focus point and breathing here. Lift the elbows just a bit. 2 or 3 breaths here. And then gently unfolding. And release. Let that standing leg get a little bit of a shakeout to let the tension go. You ready to try it on the other side? If this is your first time doing eagle, take your time. This is also a great time to maybe have a chair next to you or a couch or a table that you can just rest a hand on as you practice. This is a practice, not a perfect. Okay, dropping into this pose and bringing the other leg on top. The other arm underneath, wrapping into our eagle posture. Breathing, keeping those legs steady. These strong muscles in the legs help keep our balance so we don't fall when we're out in our daily activities. Breathing, holding your focus point. Another breath. And gently unfolding and shake out that standing leg. Okay, we're going to keep using that theme of eagle arms throughout tonight's practice. Come to the top of your mat and we'll start with a gentle low lunge flow. Find your mountain, feet parallel with the long edge of the mat. Spread those toes. Let the foot be gigantic on the mat so it really supports you well. Inhale, let those arms float up. And then as you fold at the hips, flat back, swan diving, soft knees, come into your forward fold. Half lift, press on the shins, lengthen. Exhale, fold, step back on the right, let the knee come down. Untuck the back toes. We're in a low lunge here. Keep the front knee over the ankle. Let the hips sink a bit. And then raise these arms up. Bring the left arm underneath the right for eagle arms. And as you sink, think of the spine getting tall, lifting the arms up. Breathing here. Unfold the hands, bring them to frame the foot, walk the hands back, peel that front toes up and get a good stretch here. Now keep the back as flat as you can as you fold forward towards that left knee. And then walk the hands up, coming back to your low lunge. Last time we had the left arm under, bring the right arm under. Eagle arms on the other side. Always balancing it out. Breathe. Unfold the arms, frame the foot, tuck the back toes, and then we're going to sweep that left foot all the way up, three-legged dog. Bring it up, fold the hip, and bring it into a fire hydrant posture. Flex your left ankle. Couple circles with the ankle, and then bring that left knee behind the left wrist. I like to place my left hand on a block for pigeon. Slide the shin forward a little bit. Make sure your ankle is flexed. Bring your attention to that left outer hip and just begin to feel the stretch in the outer left hip. Exploring that. You might bring the back knee up. Just feeling in there and breathing. You can also do this stretch with the foot a little further back. Keep the knee comfortable. When you're ready, frame your hands out again and return that left foot back up to the sky. Shake it out. Float it back down. Coming to your plank, bring both knees down. And now step your right foot forward between your hands. We'll take these moves on the other side. Let the hips sink. Feel the arms come up. Left arm under right. Eagle arms. Breathe. Release, frame the foot, walk the hip back, flatten the back, and fold the heart towards the knee as you peel the toes up. Hurdlers stretch. Gently walk the hands forward, returning to your low lunge. And the right arm goes under the left. Eagle arms. And breathe. Release the hands, frame that foot, sweep that right foot back up into the sky behind you, fold the hip, fire hydrant. Exhale, bring the right knee behind the right wrist. Again, I like to have a block under my hand to give me some support as I slide that shin forward, ankle flexed, and then just get that stretch in the outer right hip. Exploring that stretch, feeling it, breathing with it. And then setting that block aside as you slide your shin back a bit. Return your right foot back to the sky, shake it out, and bring that foot down for a downward facing dog. Inhale, looking between the thumbs. Exhale, step forward. Coming to a half lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands back, rising up. And release. That was a little warm-up flow. Maybe take a drink. Take a little more stretch, shake anything out that's holding tension, and then let's come into our next flow. Finding mountain at the top of your mat. Feel the weight in your heels, the joints stacking, and notice your breath. With yoga, it's so important to continue to pay attention to the breath as it guides our practice. Narrow the throat just a little bit by raising the back of the tongue up on the exhale for our Ujjayi breath or our victorious breath. Inhale, let those arms float up. Exhale, folding at the hip. Nice flat back as you float down. Step back on the right. We're coming to a runner's lunge, 2 lanes of traffic. Keep your right hand down and stack your shoulders, coming into your dragonfly twist. Now from here, this is where it gets a little challenging, and I want you to pick what's going to work for you. So I'm going to spread my feet out a little bit, one side more to the left of the mat and the other side to the right. And then we're going to push up off of that bottom hand, coming into what's called a revolved warrior 2. Okay? So take your time getting here. Can be challenging to push off of that position. Keep an eye on a focus point, and then bring that left hand forward. Drop the back heel. We're now in a warrior 1. This is a little easier position to hold. Check in with your front knee right over the ankle. And we're going to do eagle arms here as an option. Bring the left arm under the right. Find your eagle arms as your hips sink and your elbows lift. Breathing. Keep that glute engaged. Unfold the arms. And now we're going to open up into a warrior 2. The back toes are going to push off to a 3 o'clock position. Arms are parallel to the earth. Front knee right over the ankle. And now coming back, warrior 1. Bring that back arm forward. The toes now on the back foot are pointed to 2 o'clock. The heel is a little bit more back. Now the right arm slides under the left. Sink the hips, lift the elbows. Eagle arms. Breathing. And release those arms. Come up onto the ball of the foot as you revolve into your revolved warrior two, and slowly bring the hand down to the mat, framing your foot. Step back for your plank. We'll take a flow here. Knees down, elbows in, chest and chin. Inhale, roll the heart up. Exhale, tuck your toes. Push the hips high. And we're in our downward facing dog. We'll take these moves on the other side. The right foot comes up. Bring it forward between your hands. Remember to have 2 lanes of traffic and fairly wide apart from each other. Let the left hand come down, the right hand come up in your dragonfly twist. When you're ready, you can use a block, you can use the chair, or just press your feet apart, coming up into your revolved warrior two. Sweep the back hand forward, drop the back heel, toes off to 10 o'clock, warrior one. Right arm under left, eagle arm option. Sink the hips, lift the elbows. Unwind the elbows and open the hands into your warrior two. Back toes now to 9 o'clock. A breath or two here. In warrior two, check in with that front knee. Keep it right over the ankle. Sweep the back hand forward, returning to your warrior one. Left arm under right. Sink the hips, lift the elbows. Big breath in the belly. Exhale, draw it in and up. Release the hands and come up onto the ball of the foot as you open into your revolved warrior two. And then gently plant that hand back to the mat. Option to use a chair or block. And bring the right hand down. Framing that foot. Step back for your plank. And we'll take another flow here. Knees, chest, chin. Inhale the cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath or two in down dog. Look between the thumbs, and on the exhale, step to forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. And fold. Sweep your hands behind you as you squeeze your glutes, raising the heart up, and release. Shake it out. Let go of any tension that you're building. You're doing a great job. I look forward to hearing details from you at the end of class. Okay, come to the long edge of the mat. We're going to take some good stretches here. Standing stationary first, interlace the hands behind the back. Broaden across the collarbones and lift just a bit as you slide your shoulder blades down and gaze up. And then step out. Make your feet nice and wide. Let the heels be out a little bit more than the toes. A full stride, so about the length of a leg. And so that's a little bit different for each of us. But find the stride length that feels good for you, and hopefully your mat is a little bit on the sticky side. That gives you some good traction and helps you feel safe. Small little flexibility in the knees. And we're going to start with a side bend. So you can place your hand on the hip and reach up with the other hand and gently sweep over, engaging the core here. So do your best to squeeze the glutes a little so that the front of the hips push forward. It gives you a nice strong low back, and then inch over into a side bend. Inhale, sweep through the center and take it to the other side. Keep those glutes engaged as you side bend. And continuing that option, or if you like to, both hands up, lengthen the spine and bend. Inhale, reach, and side bend. And release those hands, and we're going to come into our triangle posture next. So point your toes on your right side, I believe, will face now to the short edge of the mat. We have the back toes are facing to the long edge of the mat. Let the feet be nice and far apart, whatever is comfortable for you. And then bring your arms parallel to the earth, lean them forward, and slowly bring that left hand down as the right hand comes up, or it might be the opposite for you. Right hand down, left hand up. Now, where does that bottom hand land? It can land on the inside or the outside of your calf, or it can be also on the thigh. You want to avoid the knee. I like to place my hand on a block on the outside of the ankle for our triangle or Trikonasana posture. Keep drawing that front hip back. So you lengthen out that leg. Breathe with this 2 or 3 times here. This is one of our power poses. Stretch between the hands. Lengthen from tailbone through the crown of the head. Press into both feet as they push away from each other, floating up. Use your core, float up the body, soften the front knee right over the ankle. Warrior 2. Back glute is engaged, heel digging into the mat. The arms are soft, at ease, yielding tension, softening the gaze. Breathing with your warrior 2. Can you feel the breath in the low belly? Exhale it in. Turn that front palm up and come into your peaceful warrior as the front hand lifts, the back hand slides down. Breathing with this, feel that breath in the low belly. The top hand comes behind the sacrum. Interlace your hands behind the sacrum. Draw them down, lift the heart. We're coming for a humble warrior here. So lifting the heart, folding at the hip to the inside of the left thigh. Your hands might come off your back a little bit. Take that stretch that feels good for you. And then release your hands to the mat. Walk the hands over to the long edge of the mat. Let your heels go out, your toes in. So both feet are mirror images of each other. Your tailbone leans back, your fingers crawl forward. Your neck is released and relaxed between your arms. A little softness in your knees so they stay comfortable in this straddle fold. Breathing here. And then continue to walk the hands over to the other foot, the one at the back of the mat. And turn those toes now to face the short edge of the mat. Draw the hip back, and we're going to take triangle on this side. So find that lower hand where it's going to be, on the inside of the calf, or the thigh, or on a block. Stack your shoulders and pull that hip way back. Breathing now. Holding the tension between the 2 feet. Push the feet apart. Let the hands reach apart. Crown to tailbone. Lengthen. You might feel someone almost pulling on your ponytail to help you keep a strong back. A little micro bend in the knee, and then use that energy of the core to pull you up, float you out. Warrior 2. Soften the shoulders and breathe in warrior 2, taking that gaze off right over your middle fingers. to infinity. Breathing. Another breath here. Bring it into the low belly. Exhale it out. Front palm floats up. Come into your peaceful warrior. Keep feeling the tension between the two hands, letting the back heel really push into the sticky mat and press the feet apart. Breathing here. And let that hand come down. Interlace behind your sacrum. Draw the hands down. Spread the collarbones. We're preparing for humble warrior. Bring some attention to your belly and the breath. Really let your exhales go out completely. Inhale, fill. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, fill. Exhale and fold. Option to lift your hands a bit. And when you're ready, release it. The hands to the mat, coming over to that long edge of the mat again. Again, a full straddle, toes in, heels out. And this time walking the hands through the legs a little bit, micro bend in the knees. Nodding the head so that you release the neck. Nodding yes, and then side to side. Then bring your hands directly underneath your gaze. Flatten the back out a little bit. Press the hands into the mat as you lift the tailbone as much as you can. Walk the hands a little more forward and bring your knees down to the mat. We're going to let both feet go off to the side and the knees off to the other side. And we're going to just have what's called a 90-90 posture or mermaid posture. So let your knees go off towards it. And for my case, it's the right. I think it'll be on the left for you. Walk your hands over towards the knees and behind the knees. Place the back hand down. Press into that hand to lengthen your spine. Holding that mermaid posture. Push into that back hand. The front hand can lift, and you can squeeze your glutes and lift the hips a bit too. That's an option. Breathing and releasing. Then we'll bring our feet out in front of us and we'll take an up table. So plant your hands just behind your hips, fingers facing forward. Press into the feet, into the palms of the hands. Squeeze the glutes, press into the heels, up table. 2 or 3 breaths. And then bringing the hips back down. Lean back as you sweep the heels off to the other side. So we had them one way, now we'll take it to the other side. And whichever way your knees are facing, walk your hands over to that side, planting your back hand down. Feel the spine get long here. Press into the back hand, squeeze the glutes if you'd like, lifting that front hand up. Breathing. And releasing. Then we'll come on to our bottoms and reach our feet out in front of us. Traction your feet back a little bit. Reach your hands forward and slowly pushing that small of the back slowly to the earth. You might grab onto your legs as you float it down, vertebrae by vertebrae. And stretching out into a reclined position again. Bring your thumbs underneath the sacrum, giving your hips a little support here. And then let your shins come into tabletop. Press your right foot out, bring it in. Left foot out, bring it in. And you can continue alternating between these two. You might push both feet out at the same time. Exhale, inhale, coming in. Exhale into the work. Bring the knees right over the hips. Another option, go out and then go into a horizontal scissor kick. Kick the heels out wide and bring them together and home. Breathing with it. Horizontal scissor kick. Whatever option you're taking here, just keep breathing and working that core, keeping the small of the back close to the mat. You can leave your feet out and just kick the horizontal scissor kick, changing whichever foot is on top. Breathing with it. Couple more breaths of work here. We're almost done. Bring your knees in, drop your heels, release your thumbs from underneath your sacrum. We'll take a bridge now, bringing your heels up close to your glutes. Spread your toes, roll the shoulders under. You can bring your knees together and you might even place a block between your knees to help you squeeze as you start to lift the hips. Press into the heels. Keep squeezing the block. Lift your chin a little bit to keep the neck comfortable. Settle in for a few breaths. Can you lift the hips any higher? Press into the shoulders and the heels. Squeeze the pelvic floor, tailbone to pubic bone. 3 more breaths. 2 more. Last one. Peel the spine down vertebrae by vertebrae as that tailbone comes towards the heels. Set your block on the outside of your mat. Bring your knees in to your hands and take a couple circles on the back using your knees like giant pencils, and you're drawing on the mat with your back, and then change direction. You can bring the knees in the same direction, or you can actually swing the knees in opposite circles. Play with this and see how this massage works for you. Then slide your hands onto your shins as you widen out your elbows and rock left and right. Exhaling and letting go. Bring your heels down, and we're going to take our blocks now and bridge up just enough to set a block right underneath the sacrum. Then bring your knees in and make sure you're feeling really stable on that block, and float your heels up. Now, what you do with your feet up there in the air is up to you. You might let your heels drift apart for an inner thigh stretch. You might curl your toes and straighten and spread them. Circles with your ankles, or you might just enjoy being still and letting the blood return from your legs to your body in a more restorative posture. You might rest your hands on your thighs for additional support. Find your breath. See if you can begin to unwind the tension of your practice, letting go a bit, yielding a bit of tension out of the body to the gravity, softening. Growing a little more heavy. Let the heels come back together and the knees towards the chest. Option for the knees to fall apart and your hands reach through for the big toes or ankles. Heels up towards the sky in a happy baby. Releasing the grip on those. Bring both hands to the left knee. Let the right heel go long. Walk your hands up the back of the left leg. Draw it in towards the chest. Release that knee and switch. Bring the right knee in as the left heel goes long. Walk your hands up the back of that right leg and release. Both heels land behind the block, sliding the block out from underneath you. We're going to take a long spinal twist here. So bring your left knee into your hands. The right heel goes long. And let that left knee lean out first to the left and then come across the body, reaching out in front of you as the left hand goes out behind you with the gaze. Big breath in and exhale, releasing, letting go. You can bend the left elbow if that helps you release in the spine a little more. Slide your right hand underneath your extended leg and bring yourself back through center. We'll take these moves on the other side. Right knee comes into the hand, left heel goes long. Let the right knee come out to the right, and then gently pass it over to the left hand. So you extend that foot out to the left, reach the right arm out behind you with the gaze. Big breath here. And releasing, and letting go of tension. The left hand goes underneath the right leg and brings you back through center. We'll prepare for our final resting posture now, Shavasana. If you've not experienced this posture before, this is a resting posture, one where we counterpose all the poses that we've done throughout the practice. So lengthen out the body on the mat. Let the toes roll out a bit, be away from each other, and the arms a little bit away from the side of the body. And if this isn't comfortable for your body, think of ways you can increase the comfort in this reclined position, perhaps placing some blocks or a towel behind the thighs or knees. Maybe a little support under the neck. Anything that works for you is good. Some people like to place a little towel or blanket over their eyes. So you can draw your attention more inward. Feeling the heaviness of the body as the earth is supporting you and gravity holds you to the earth. Slowly bringing your attention more towards your breath. Can you let the breath be smooth? Breathing in, filling the belly, the ribs, the chest. On the exhale, letting the exhale release the chest, the ribs, the belly. All the way out, all the way in. You might imagine a wave coming up on the shore, pausing a bit at the top and then slowly flowing back into the sea. Feeling the wave of your own breath. Notice how the breath can involve the entire body, breathing, releasing. Letting go of any tension that has developed from practice. Shavasana is our counterpose. Letting go in the arms. letting go in the legs, heavy. And the head, heavy. Feeling the torso and each exhale, heavy. On your own now for a few breaths. You can certainly stay in Shavasana as long as you would like. Or you can join me in starting to find a little gentle movement in the body. Maybe bringing your hands towards your heart and just revisiting your intention for kindness towards yourself and self-care. Lengthening out in a bit of a stretch or bringing your knees in towards your chest. Rocking a little left and right, comforting the low back, gentle hug. If you'd like to join me in a seated posture, coming to that now. Take a moment to feel the weight in your seated posture. Bringing the hands, palms together in front of the heart. Thank you for your practice. May you take a bit of what you've been working on into your day and into your week. May you know peace. Om Shanti, Om Peace. Namaste. Thank you, friends, for joining me for another practice. It's always good to practice together. If you'd like to practice more with me, you can always find lots of additional yoga on my YouTube site, maureen.yoga. So my first name and .yoga will take you to all of those classes.